Welcome back to Comics with Drew. I'm Drew, and today we're going to talk about the worst comic book I have ever read. Normally when I'm doing reviews for comics, I don't, here's the magic hands. Normally when I'm doing reviews for comics, I just try to be constructive and everything, but sometimes something just comes right up to it and just goes right over that line. It just crosses that Rubicon. And usually I'm gonna reserve these types of videos for books that are done by professionals. And what I mean by that are comics that are drawn by like people from DC or Marvel or Image. I mean, basically stuff done by professionals, and they should know better than that. And today's contestant on the worst comic book that I have ever read is Boom! Superman Action Comics, number 1026, The House of Kent, Chapter 5, Murder from the Multiverse, by Brian Michael Bendis, John Romita Jr., Klaus Janson, and Brad Anderson on colors. This book is awful. So last Sunday, if you're following my Twitter feed, I was going through Superman. It was Superman Sunday. And I was going through all my Action Comics backlog and also my Superman backlog. And I got to this book, and oh my goodness gracious. This book has just about everything that drives me crazy in comics. And it also has the kind of things that are done to excess by some of the creators. And in this case, Brian Michael Bendis, you know, I don't not like Brian Michael Bendis, okay? I think he's a great writer, but he has some of his little habits that kind of get out of control. And John Romita Jr., you know, he's done great work in the past on different books, especially like Spider-Man and whatnot, but his Superman artwork is, how can I put this delicately? It's trash. So yeah, no, I mean, it's bad. And I think that both Bendis and Romita Jr. can do better than what they do in Superman. And it kind of disappoints me. Actually, it doesn't kind of, it really disappoints me that on a book like Action Comics, the granddaddy of them all, you know, and Superman, well, actually, Romita Jr. is not on Superman, but on Superman comic books, this is the kind of effort that we get. Let's jump into this. The first page, now, this page has been making the rounds here. We have Brainiac, and we have a total information dump here. This is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 word bubbles here. So, and if that's not enough, right? We have a whole block of alien text here on the lower left-hand corner. It's out of control. It's like Brian's like, you know what? Hey man, this is just not enough text here on the right. We need to have more text that people aren't going to read. Because let's face it, people aren't going to read all this stuff for the most part. They're just going to like read 1, 2, 3, and screw it, I'm going to the next page. But Brian's like, you know, that's not good enough. Man, I know they're not going to read this, but now we're going to give them the bonus stuff that they're not going to read in the alien text. Now, there might be some people out there that do speak Brainiac, because, you know, there are people out there that speak Klingon, but I doubt it. So that's the first page, and it's like, no one's going to read this stuff. I have taken one for the team. I have read all of this, and what it is basically just a setup to where we are. It's a catch up to the current place in the story. Now, other books do a much better job of handling the catch-up thing, you know? Currently, Amazing Spider-Man has an info box page where it says, Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider, and he's now arguing with J. Jonah Jameson on a podcast, you know? And then boom, you're right into the story, you know where you are. Oblivion Song also does this very, very well. They have like a little white page with a little insert with a paragraph that just gives you a little bit of blurb as to where you are on the story, and then you're off to the races. And that's Brian Michael Bendis, that's not his style, man. He's gonna give you prose, baby. You're gonna get a full novel here. You know, the book is Action Comics, right? There's no action here. There's no action whatsoever, man. So that's the first, that's your greeting, right? Brainiac breaking the fourth wall, staring right into you, and puking a ton of exposition out. And we go to the next page, and boom, we're not done with exposition. We've got Brainiac on the left-hand side all the way down. It's a double-page spread. We have Brainiac going all the way down to the bottom and across. And, you know, at this point, you know what? When you have stuff like this isn't what you call a comic book. This is more a documentary. So this is like if you're watching David Attenborough and he's watching some, you know, animals kill each other or whatnot, and he's talking about, oh, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. That's what's going on here with Brian Michael Bendis doing Brainiac here. We are not watching a comic, or we are not reading a comic. We are listening to Brainiac narrate. And then we have this drawing of Superboy, or one of the Superboys. We have two Superboys. You get a bonus Superboy in this book. So you've got John Kent, and then you've got Connor Kent. And Connor Kent is the bonus Superboy. But this one looks to be like John. And, you know, I mean, this picture here, yeah, I'm going to give you an insight on this, but this picture looks like it was drawn on a napkin. I mean, keep in mind, when you're drawing these things, the boards, the art boards that you're drawing these on are 11 by 17, right? So this drawing right here is like really like this big. So it's as big as your hand. There's no reason that, or at least the big as your palm, there's no reason for this art to look like this. This is absolute trash. This is, I don't care. I'm just gonna sketch this thing off and send it off because, you know, I got better things to do with my time. So, I mean, if you can compare this with, you know, Brainiac over here and Supergirl and Superman. I mean, even these characters are better rendered. Oh my God, look at her forehead. What the hell happened here? Wow, this book is awful. It's all the way around. So it doesn't stop there. We still have Bendising, and we got Romita Jr. junioring, and we flip the page, and boom, we have a turn the book around to read situation, which I cannot stand. I can stand it if it's done like once or twice, like in a book, but hey, we're not done here. Boom, let's rotate the book. So we're gonna get a workout for all you comic book geeks out there that don't get any exercise. You're gonna flip this book around, boom, you're gonna have the top, and we have more Brainiac talking about what's going on. We don't have Superman talking, we don't have the monster he's fighting talking, we just have Brainiac giving us more play-by-play, you know, and more Brainiac giving us play-by-play, and more Brainiac giving us play-by-play, and finally, Superman decides to say something, but then we get more Brainiac. So you're like, all right, fine. I'm not even gonna tell you the story because it doesn't matter. The story is, quite frankly, a boring story. It really is, okay? All right, so now we gotta turn the page back around here. So that's 2 turns, all right? Turn to get it to the correct orientation, turn to get it back, and then flip the page, and then boom, we have another situation where the orientation on the book is screwed up. We gotta flip this around, so we're gonna do another turn, 180 degrees around, right? Now we've got Supergirl, and we got more Brainiac. No dialogue from Supergirl or Superman. We don't even have Brainiac talking. He's just like, you know, narrating again. And then we go down, we've got all the way across this double page spread. We got Superman laser eyes, Supergirl laser eyes, Brainiac just staring there. And then we got the Red Cloud watching it in the peanut gallery, all right? Okay, so, all right, now we're gonna flip the page, right? We're gonna have to flip the page back and get, oh, wait a second, the book's upside down. Let's flip it back and then re-rotate it again. So we're gonna go 180 degrees for a total of a 360-degree turn just to read these 2 pages. All right, so now we're gonna flip it back over again, and oh my gosh, here we go again. We got another turn, so we're gonna do another 90-degree turn. Yes, sirree, another 90-degree turn, and we have more Brainiac talking. And now Brainiac's actually shooting, but he's not talking, he's just narrating this. And we got Superman and Supergirl, who looks almost like Superman, only with, like, you know, long hair. It's like 90s Superman with the mullet, only blonde. And they're all fighting the monster. And we got more Superman fighting the monster, more Brainiac narration. And now we gotta flip the book around again. So let's go return it back around. Ah, there we are. Man, what a workout. We're gonna flip this over again. Oh my God, we have another situation where we have to, this is what I call reader's choice. So we have Brainiac here. Now we have the monster here, and he's whipping all of our superheroes' butts here. And then we go down to the bottom, and we have another square, and then we have another square, and then we have, and these are people talking off page. There's actually something going on in the Daily Planet right now, and that's what these boxes are talking about. But, you know, it's reader's choice. You got right side up, and on the right-hand side. So, I mean, are we looking like this here again? No, not quite. But maybe we are. Maybe this is, maybe guys, maybe ladies and gentlemen, and other people out there, maybe this is a situation where this is giving us a hint as to what's happening next. So why don't we do this? Actually, you know what? We're just gonna flip it over. So we got another ad, right? And then, oh my goodness, it's another turnaround, another 90 degrees. I mean, this is like the teacups at Disney, guys, the Daily Planet, and we've got Lois Lane arguing with some FBI agent, and we got an arguing with the owner of the Daily Planet in the current situation. I'm not going to tell you that. You can go buy the book if you dare. If you want some good sleeping material. If you have insomnia, this book will cure it for you. That's for sure. All right, so we go down and we got, this is actually the most coherent layout that they have in the entire book. And so, I mean, if they're going to do this one way, that if they were going to do this one time in the book, that'd be one thing. But there's really no reason for them to even be doing this. There's no reason why this page can't be drawn on this page and this page can't be drawn on that page horizontally, other than we're getting our comic book calisthenics in here. So let's go ahead and turn it back again. So we're going to go back another 90 degrees. Now we have normal comic book layout, which is all you need for this story, because the story isn't worth doing all of the weird, disorienting twister things. We're just right back into a regular comic book. And I'm not even gonna comment on the art here, it's just bad. But now we finally have some dialogue going on from our superheroes. And so then we've got some more stuff where Superman goes off to deal with the Red Cloud, and then we come back over here, and I mean, the art is just, why does Superman look like this? Why is he posed like this? It's just weird. Ultimately, Supergirl rams a steel beam into a building, and then when we flip this over here, now Brainiac shows up and Superboy is there, and they're like, oh, what happened? And the guy got Kandor. So, for those unfamiliar, Kandor is a tiny little city in a little glass jar that Superman keeps in the Fortress of Solitude. And so when you shrink something, it's kind of like Kandoring it. So you're kind of like just shrinking it. And it looks like they shrunk the bad guy who, by the way, gets his powers by touching people and sucking out their powers. So it doesn't matter that he's small. If you touch him anyway, he's still going to take your powers. And here's Supergirl. Hey, everything's fine. We're good. And by the way, what is up with Supergirl's chin here? This goes on all over the place for women that Romita is drawing in Superman. They've got like this Glasgow smile. I think that's what it's called, right? It's the Joker smile where they like got the knife cuts on either side. But Romita is doing this all over the place with them. I mean, look at these cheekbones. My goodness gracious, you could open a can with that stuff. But the rest of the book just wraps up the story. All right, so I did the math and we have 10 rotations, either clockwise, counterclockwise of this book, for a total of 1,080 degrees of spinning. So, Superman Action Comics, the action comes from spinning the book around. It certainly doesn't come from what you're reading in the book. That is for sure. So it's a Brainiac documentary of Superman and company fighting some weird rando monster. And this is by far the worst book that I have ever read from a professional comic book creation team. So I don't want you guys to not buy this book. In fact, I want you to go out and buy this book, Superman Action Comics 1026, and bag it and board it, get it slabbed, display it with pride on your desk as the pinnacle or the nadir, depending on your point of view, of what bad comic books look like and behave like. So again, this is nothing personal for Brian and nothing personal for John. And it's just, you guys can do better. I know you can do better. But I'll tell you what, man, this book is just, this book is all kinds of crazy. So again, Superman Action Comics 1026, the worst comic book I have ever read to date. I am sure that that title will not be retained for very long because I'm reading a lot more comic books these days. So again, with that, thanks for watching Comics with Drew. I'm Drew. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to hear more incoherent rambling about comics from myself, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And again, this is Comics with Drew. I'm Drew, and I'll catch you next time.